Mel Brooks wanted to meet him before he did the film, and Dad said, he goes in and has the interview, and it goes along, and Mel says to Slim, Slim, I want to ask you a very personal question. I hope you won't be offended if I ask you this question. And Dad went, oh my God, he's going to ask me about my sex life? I'm going to have to lie. And so Dad said, yeah, go ahead, ask me.
So, comedy westerns, they started when films started. There were silent comedy westerns that included Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton's classic, The General, which was a Civil War comedy, a wonderful film that was remade by Walt Disney called The Great Locomotive Chase with Fess Parker, and that was actually Morgan Woodward's very first film, too. And Slim Pickens was in that, says his lovely daughter. It'll be your turn soon, okay? And we had Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin did The Gold Rush, a terrific Western comedy. In sound films, of course, we had the great Laurel and Hardy in Way Out West, where they sang Paper Moon in that and did a little soft shoe against a rear screen projection. But it was lovely. And they're so great, and it's nice that they have stood the test of time. I know that the Marx Brothers did a Western, Go West, with John Carroll, who had been Zorro, a Republic serial, a terrific serial, directed, I believe, by William Whitney. And I'm getting a lot of nods on that, so that's a good guess, Rob. And I wasn't guessing, come on. And My Little Chickadee with W.C. Fields and Mae West, a wonderful comedy at Universal, just terrific. When I was growing up, all of these films that were released in the 20s and 30s and 40s were running on TV, especially the B-Westerns. And so we were exposed to all of these, the B-Westerns with the sidekicks and everything. In fact, I can remember before we had a TV set, visiting my Uncle George in Atlanta, Georgia, and he had a TV with a really small circle was the screen. And the very first thing I saw on TV was a comedy Western, and I went running into the next room and going, I can't believe this. There's like little guys and they're riding Shetland ponies. And they really were. It was the terror of Tiny Town. The terror of Tiny Town, and I loved it. I thought it was so great until I revisited it recently. And it didn't really hold up as well as I remembered. But they were always making comedy Westerns. But to make a comedy Western work, you need to have a knowledge of Westerns and what makes a Western work, and the tradition, because it is an American tradition and we are lucky that we know what it is, but the audience today obviously doesn't, because A Million Ways to Die in the West, which was very funny, and Seth MacFarlane, who loves Westerns and who understands the genre, captured a lot of different moments, but the 14-year-olds, which is the average audience of theatergoers today, 14, I don't see anybody that age in here. Nobody went. I went with my 16-year-old son. He said, it's a little too young for me, Dad. No, he didn't. He loved it. He knows what a Western is, and he thought it was great. And it was very funny. It was a modern take on really what Blazing Saddles had been to all of us. And Blazing Saddles had been a phenomenon at the time, with a real love of the West that Mel Brooks did.
Gee, how about some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you've had enough.
I'd like to bring up the daughter of one of the stars of that film, Daryle Ann Lindley, who is Slim Pickens' daughter.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. I just want to say something before we start. I want to thank you, Rob, for all that you do to keep our Western heritage alive and for keeping Western movies alive. I love coming to these lunches, and I want to thank you, Rob. It's very important to me, and I know it's very important to all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, she can sit down now. No, thank you. And I met your dad one time. We were doing When the West Was Fun for ABC, which was a reunion of all the TV Cowboys, Brad Marks Productions. And your dad was there, and he couldn't have been nicer. And your dad had started off, maybe not started off, but he was a rodeo champ and a clown, a rodeo clown.
Rodeo clown, yeah. He competed. He rode, if you can imagine this, bareback horses. And then he decided, well, he wasn't making enough money doing that, so he liked to clown, and he was always kind of a clown. But he didn't wear makeup. He didn't wear makeup at all. And so he became a rodeo clown, and that's how he said, people said, well, Slim, you've never had any acting experience. And he said, my acting experience was the rodeo arena.
Live entertainment.
Yeah, live entertainment.
Yes. Well, I just got back from the NFR, and there were rodeo clowns in there, too, and I was thinking of your father, too. Well, that is a dangerous
Very
profession.
dangerous. Oh, he probably had broken close to every bone in his body. And when he fought bulls, he did not, wear makeup and funny things like that. He fought with a cape and a matador's outfit. If you can imagine my dad in a matador's outfit.
And your dad, after the Rex Allen films, he also did some of the Gene Autry productions. He did Annie Oakley and Buffalo Bill Jr. Was he friends with Gail and Dickie Jones?
Dickie Jones he was friends with. Mm-hmm. I don't remember him talking much about Gail Davis. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that. But Dickie Jones, he liked Dickie Jones. I think, was Dickie Jones in...
He was in The Range Rider also.
Yeah, no, but I thought he was
And he was in Rocky Mountain. So your dad
that's
probably
why they were
met
friends.
him there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Dickie was a veteran at that time when your dad was just a novice.
Just a novice, yeah. But Dad was genuinely funny. I mean, he was a funny guy. I mean, growing up in our household, it was a laugh a minute. And my mother was completely, the opposite. Mother had this very dry sense of humor. And to see the two of them together was quite comedic. Mom used to work for Howard Hughes, and she was a mathematician.
He had no sense of humor.
No. And my mom was a mathematician, and so she did all the bookwork and everything, and Dad just made the money.
Well, that's all right.
That's all right.
No, so how did Blazing Saddles come about?
Well, Mom always read Dad's scripts when they came to the house. The script came to the house, Mom read it, and she said to Dad, Slim, you can't do this. You say things in here I've never heard you say before. And Dad said, don't worry, I know how to say them. So then Dad ended up going in and meeting Mel Brooks. And Mel Brooks wanted to meet him before he did the film. And Dad said, he goes in and has the interview, and it goes along. And Mel says to Slim, Slim, I want to ask you a very personal question. I hope you won't be offended if I ask you this question. And Dad went, oh my God, he's going to ask me about my sex life? I'm going to have to lie. And so Dad said, yeah, go ahead, ask me. And he said, can you really ride a horse? Dad said, well, I don't have to lie to that one. Yes, I can. And then Mel came to Dad after they did Blazing Saddles and said, Slim, I want you in my next movie, my next Western. I want you in my next Western. And Dad said, when did you make the first one?
Well, and Mel never made a better one.
And I see Mel all the time. He goes to the racetrack, and he likes to bet the horses, and I see him all the time. So he knew I was going to be here today, and I'm going to tell him he missed a great afternoon with you people.
Thank you. Let me ask you also about perhaps Slim's most iconic role from Dr. Strangelove. He played Major King Kong in that, and he rode the bomb down.
apparently when Stanley shot a film, you took take after take after take after take. And Kubrick wanted Dad in The Shining. And Dad said, I can't commit to this unless you give me a stop date. And he wouldn't do it, to give him a stop date. So Dad ended up not doing it. But Dad said, I could be working for X amount of dollars for 5 years with no stop date. And he said, I just can't do that. So I know he liked Kubrick, but I think the way he shot was a little, took a long time.
And that was not the Jack Nicholson role. That was the Scatman Crothers
yes,
role.
Yeah.
But and Kubrick also started a film that Brando ended up directing, One-Eyed Jacks, which your dad was in too. And your dad suddenly was not the comedian anymore. He was a bad guy.
Get a hold of them bars. Keep your feet back.
There ain't no calls that long. What's the matter with you?
Nothing. Just sorry the county's going to take care of him. I like to do it myself. With this. Both barrels, double all shot about waist high.
Always when I saw Dad in a film, it was always my dad. That was my dad. That's who he was. When I saw One-Eyed Jacks, I did not know the man up there. And Dad did suffer a heart attack on the film. Yeah. But he continued working.
Before he got into movies, and he got into films late, he was in his 30s when he made his first film, Rocky Mountain, with Errol Flynn. How did that come about?
Well, Dad was clowning the Newhall Rodeo, and a talent scout happened to be there, and he saw Dad, and he said, would you like to have a screen test? And Dad said, well, how much will it cost me? And he said, it's free. Dad said, well, I'll have one. And that was a screen test for Rocky Mountain. He got the film, and that started his whole career.
8 Confederate soldiers commissioned by General Lee to carry out a last desperate plan to turn the tide of battle. Men selected for their fierce fighting hearts, their daring horsemanship, and a devotion to duty that carried them across 2,000 perilous miles of enemy territory.
Well, boy, he jumped right from that to being a sidekick to Rex Allen.
Right, yes, yeah. And that started a whole family relationship with the Allens. And you mentioned Bill Whitney. That was kind of my growing up with those people in
and
my
Bill Whitney
lives.
directed most of those Republic Westerns
yes, he did,
with Rex.
Yeah. And I remember as a little kid, Dad used to take me to the studio, and I just thought, Dad told me this, in order to get into the studio, just wave at the gate guy, and that's how you get in. And that's what I thought all you had to do was, As I got older, I learned it was a little different.
Not only was he a great writer, but so was Rex. And there are running inserts with them just riding like crazy and fast and smooth and just amazing
and no
stuff.
stuntmen. I mean, it was them. It was really that. Dad could really ride. I mean, he was really a horseman. And Dear John, the horse that he used in the Rex Allen series, the Appaloosa horse, is the horse that they also used in the Big Country. That Gregory Peck is supposed to ride as Old Thunder. And Dear John actually did buck Gregory Peck off.
Well, I saw that in the movie, and could nobody else ride?
Well, Dad didn't really want anybody else riding his horse, and so they ended up using my horse. I had the double horse for Dear John. They ended up using my horse to double Dear John. Can you imagine a horse having a double? And
that's a lot of money in the bank account.
Yes. And I didn't want to let my horse go because they shot it out of Stockton, California. And I was like, you can't take my horse, Dad. And Dad said, well, I'll give you the money that he makes. And I said, you can take my horse. And so Gregory Peck, the close-ups that you see in the Big Country of Gregory Peck sitting on a horse, it's actually the double horse. And then Dad didn't want anybody riding his horse. So the shots of Gregory Peck getting bucked off, that's Dad. So if you look at it real close, he doubled Gregory Peck.
Well, he did so many wonderful films, too. And another favorite of mine is Rancho Deluxe with Jeff Bridges and Sam Waterston, shot up outside of Livingston, Montana. And Jimmy Buffett did the soundtrack to that and has an appearance in that as well. But your dad played. Has everybody seen that film, Rancho Deluxe?
It's kind of out there.
Oh man, it's a great film.
Wasn't it? I had a dream. I had a vision. You know, Dad
Yes.
was this. I had a vision. Yeah. He played this old kind of. Dad loved it. He had a good time doing that film. He really enjoyed it. Yeah, he liked it.
Well, we've had a good time having you up here talking about your dad.
Thank you so much. I just have to say one more thing now. If any of you watch Dr. Strangelove again, when you see the bombs are named, and Dad thought he was going to ride his horse down, and he named the bomb after his horse, Dear John. But when they set the cameras up the night before, they set it up on Hi There, which was the other bomb's name. And I think people probably thought it was just Hi There, like a Dear John letter. No, Dad was hoping to ride his horse down, but he didn't get to.
Annie Oakley hits the entertainment bullseye every week with her hard riding. Straight shooting. And suspense.
Howdy.
A hearty welcome to you. My name is Tim Lafferty.
Mine's Tag Oakley.
Word, Tag Oakley, eh? You wouldn't happen to be in relation to Annie Oakley, would you?
I'm her brother.
Hmm?
Do you know her, Mr. Lafferty?
No, but I've heard of her. The little Colleen with the eye of an eagle and the heart of a lion.
She's pretty good, but I've never heard it said like that before.
Well, it isn't everybody that can be born in old Ireland and have the gift of the silver tongue from the Leprechauns.
Leprechauns? What are they?
They're the little people, the wee folk from the elves and the fairies.
Gosh, they're not real, are they?
They're just as real as you and me, to them as can see them. Well, they're all around me. They followed me from the old sod, and ouch! Now there, get along with your little jokes there. Get along with it.
Who are you talking to? And what happened?
Well, one of them pinched me. That one right there. Oh, I tell you, they're full of devilry and mischief, they are.
You mean there's a leprechaun right here?
Yeah. You tell me you didn't see him there? That little man about so high, with a green coat and a cap and whiskers?
Gee, I don't see a thing.
You don't?
Neither do I. And you said I had the eyes of an eagle.
Oh, it is the sweet little Annie herself. Now, look, you get away. Get away. Now, get over there. And you put your hat on straight because you're in front of a lady. Miss Annie, it is a different kind of a sight that is called for.
And a different kind of imagination.
Maybe if you stay here a while, I can get so I can see him.
I'll bide a while and look for the treasure of gold.
You prospecting? You don't seem to have any prospecting tools.
Oh, but I have methods of my own.
Sounds like trouble.
Say, we can follow her as long as I stay with you.
It's as good as done, lad.
Annie, he's dead. My brother's dead.
Eliza, I'm sorry.
We got Biddle, but that Oakley wildcat horned in.
Yeah, I was watching.
If you'll just drive Miss Biddle into town, we won't put you in any more trouble, Mr. Rafferty.
Trouble indeed. I stand by me friends. And if you would be so kind, me friends call me Tim.
I want to be your friend, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
You haven't any idea who these men were?
No, you know yourself that Amos didn't have an enemy in the world.
I've seen to the necessary matters, Eliza.
Thank you, Tim. Well, I guess I better go home.
Eliza, since your brother's gone, I think you need a man around the house to do the chores.
Well,
If it's a helping hand you'll be wanting, you've got it.
well, thank you, Tim. But if you don't mind, I'd like to start back right now.
We're as good as there, ma'am. Now, keep your chin up and your hat on straight, and everything will be rosy in the morning.
Lofty, Amos Biddle may not have had any enemies, but that gang was out to kill him, not rob him.
A hunch again?
Not this time. The man that did the shooting killed Amos after he saw me. He couldn't have stopped then to rob him.
Not with you there.
Annie, Lofty, Tim's gonna help me see a leprechaun.
Oh, Tag, you don't really think Tim believes in him, do you?
Well, I don't know, but it's kind of fun. Ouch! Say,
What's all that?
one of those leprechauns. They must have found me. See, they like to pinch people, and one just pinched me.
Oh, nonsense. You probably just got a cramp in your leg.
Ouch! Go away! Ouch! Now go away, will you? Go on, get out of here. Well, it hurts.
How's it going?
Like always, the richest gold-bearing ore I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, now that the funeral's over, I guess I can talk business to Eliza.
We gotta make her sell, boss. This vein starts under your property, but the best part of it lies under her land.
There was never any question in my mind, or I wouldn't have taken you in to help me get rid of Amos.
I know you're going at this the right way, Colby, but sometimes a fella gets awful anxious with a fortune and gold laying right at his feet. You know, something could go wrong.
Nothing's going wrong. Just to make sure, have Monk mount up and keep his eye on the Biddle spread.
Looking for what?
That Irishman working for Eliza says that he's a prospector. He's more than half local, but no use taking any chances if he knows he's around.
Close the door, Sandy. Did you close that door? All right. We've got the chores well in hand, Eliza.
The leprechauns have learned to chop wood and to shut doors, huh?
Pull my leg, if you will. But one day I will show you things in the world beyond the knowledge of mortals.
Well, it's beyond the knowledge of this mortal how Amos ever kept this ranch going as long as he did. We don't have enough water.
No water it is. Well, I'll have to do something about it.
Do something about it, but how?
Oh, there are ways and ways.
If you're thinking of digging wells, it's no use. Amos tried that.
Digging, she says. Faith, I never put spade to ground till I knew the water was down there and ready to jump in my arms.
Are you trying to tell me, Tim, that you know where the water is before you dig?
You think that's another one of my daft notions?
Where are you going now?
I'm going out to start my researches. Oh, it may take me a day or two. But if there's water here, I'll find it. Now, Eliza, wish me in the leprechaun's well.
Hey, Annie, there's Tim. he's doing?
I don't know.
If he had a butterfly net, I'd say he's trying to catch leprechauns.
What can you catch with a twig?
Twig?
Yeah, what about it?
Lofty, did you ever read about dowsers?
Dowsers? Yeah. Yeah, come to think of it.
What are dowsers?
Well, they're people that find water with a willow twig, or what they call a divining rod.
You think Tim's one?
I don't know.
Oh, dowsing's just a superstition, isn't it, Annie?
No, it's more than that, Lofty. There's no explanation for it, but there have been a lot of dowsers that have found water, and even silver and gold.
Eliza could sure use the water.
Annie, you help Tim.
Tim, are you hit?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Well, can you get up?
Oh, 6 more laps and I can Irish.
Is he okay, Annie?
I'm all right. I told Annie I was okay. It was a ruse to trap the spalpeen into coming in closer so I could give him a what for. And who's that murdering scut?
He says his name's Jones. He was shooting at jackrabbits.
I'll show him the difference between a jackrabbit and an Irishman.
Oh, Tim.
Hey, he also shot at me. Jackrabbits don't wear badges. Taking him in.
All right, we're going over to Eliza's.
I'll help you, Lofty.
No, Tag, you going over to Eliza's, and Tim and I'll meet you there.
Sure, Sis.
Come on, Tim.
Well, I don't know, Ben. I'm not so sure I want to sell.
It's tough for a man to make this ranch pay, Eliza, and twice as tough for a woman.
I know, but it's been my home for so long.
Hello, Mr. Colby, Miss Biddle. A man tried to shoot Tim while he was prospecting, but he's okay now.
Where is Tim?
Annie's bringing him in, and Lofty caught the man.
Who was the fellow, Tag?
I don't know. He wouldn't give us his right name.
Oh, pony. Oh, that little fella was hanging on his tail. He pretty near lost his hat, that little leprechaun. The lad will have told you about it tonight.
Yes, and whatever's going on around here, I'm scared. I'm going to sell the ranch.
Sure.
You are? To who?
Is that why you're here, Ben?
Well, that's why I came, but,
Don't be making any rash move, Elisha. There's water to be found here, and maybe treasure.
I didn't know you were planning on expanding, Ben.
well, I'm running enough cattle that I can use a bigger spread. So I made Amos an offer a while ago and asked Eliza just now if she'd sell, but, I'll have to back out, Eliza.
Why?
Somebody's got reason for making trouble on this place, and I don't like to buy trouble.
Well, that makes sense.
Trouble can't last forever, Miss Biddle.
Of course not. And I'm here to stand by you. And I have a feeling in me bones that there's a fortune to be had.
Tim, if I were you, I'd stay away from prospecting for a while.
I'll not be put off my lawful pursuits by skulking assassins.
But, Tim, it's dangerous.
It sure sounds that way to me. Well, I'm sorry, Eliza. Oh, Tag says that Lofty caught one of the gang, Annie. Did you find out anything about him?
No, he wouldn't talk, but he's behind bars now, and Lofty's keeping after him.
I hope you get results. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So long.
Sure wish I could figure this thing out, Eliza, but Well, I guess our best bet is to keep after the prisoner and find out what he knows. Come on, Tag.
Oh, gosh, Annie. Tim hasn't told me much about dowsing.
Why couldn't he spend the night here, Annie?
He'd be very welcome.
Well, all right.
Good. Then maybe I can see one of those leprechauns.
Well, if Tag learns about him, maybe you'll teach me.
Sure will.
Okay, Tag.
Thanks a lot, Annie.
All right, goodbye.
Good night, Annie. And to tell you the truth, I am quite an authority on leprechauns.
Is she going to sell?
Well, we got her where she wants to, but I wouldn't buy.
Have you gone plumb loco?
I call it plumb smart. Listen, we got a lot to do. Annie Oakley was there. She and her deputy caught Monk. He's in jail.
Are they on to us?
No. Monk's keeping his lip button, but I don't know how long that'll last.
He's bound to talk sooner or later. Unless we do something.
Well, I've already figured out what to do.
Yeah?
We can fix it so Monk doesn't talk, and we can still get the ranch.
But you said you didn't want it.
Sure, to throw Annie off the trail. I'm making Eliza come to me, and by tomorrow she'll be begging me to take it off her hands. After what's going to happen to Monk.
What is going to happen to Monk?
You're pretty handy with that knife, ain't you?
Yeah. I got taught by an Indian.
How's it going, Lofty?
Mr. Jones is just plumb unsociable. He won't talk about anything. Not even why he can't tell the difference between a deputy sheriff and a jackrabbit.
You might try changing the subject.
Oh, such as what?
Well, tell him how much longer a man stays in jail if he withholds evidence.
It's an idea. Why make it tough on yourself, Jones?
Be a lot easier on you if you remember what you were doing and why.
What are you doing out here? You're supposed to be back to the ranch, me bucko.
Well, when Miss Biddle found out that you'd gone dowsing without any breakfast, she told me to bring these to you.
Well, wasn't that mighty sweet of her?
Sure
Here,
was.
You hold that.
Gee, thanks. Say, is it really true that when you find gold or water or something, this thing really moves?
Moves? It pulls with the strength of a cart horse.
Gosh. Ouch!
Oh, one of me leprechauns. Pinched, eh?
No, this bush, it's sharper than a knife.
Yeah. Sharper than a serpent's tooth. Tooth?
Here's your breakfast, Jones. Oh, kind of overslept, didn't you, Lofty?
Yeah. Looks like Jones doesn't get up with the chickens either. Hey, Jones. Hey, wake up. Dead, Annie. Knifed.
No. Well, it must have come through that window.
That's the only possible way.
Who in the world could have done it? If he'd been in it with a gang, they'd just right away and forget about him.
Usually. Why, what do you have in mind?
Well, it must have been someone from around here that didn't want their identity known. Come on, Lofty. We've got some riding to do and some questions to ask.
Come in.
Hello, Eliza.
Hello, Ben.
I hate to add to your troubles, Eliza, but your cattle broke down my fence again. They're on my range, probably after water.
What will I do? Ben, I just can't go on.
I'm sure sorry, but... Oh, while I'm here, I might as well get that contract I gave Amos when I thought he might sell out to me.
Oh, it's here somewhere. But, Ben, if you'll buy the ranch, I'll let you have it for a lot less than you offered Amos.
Well, it's still buying trouble.
Yes, but you're a man. You can deal with it better than I can.
That Irishman may be local, but he sure don't scare easy.
The leprechauns, they know where the water and the treasure's to be found. But would they help me out? Not them ornery little devils.
You mean there's leprechauns right here?
Ah, there's one, sitting in your pony's saddle and grinning at me.
Doggone it. I guess I'll just never get to see a leprechaun.
Hey, come here.
What do you want?
Now I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go up there and give him a good swipe and scare him. Because when they're scared, that's when they yield up their secrets.
Gosh, it's kind of hard to hit something you can't see, Mr. Lafferty.
Now you go over there and take a swipe at him like I tell you.
Okay. Is he still there?
Yes.
Did I hit him, Mr. Lafferty? Huh? Did I hit him good?
You done it, lad. You done it.
Here, let me try. Hey, it doesn't work for me.
Well, that don't make any difference. You helped anyway, and now we found it. We found it.
Yay!
We found
The way he's jumping around looks like he's found something.
Sure looks like it.
He's right over where our veins align. The boss is at the ranch now trying to close the deal.
Now, you ride up there and tell Miss Liza.
What do I tell her we found, Mr. Lafferty?
You tell her maybe we found the great treasure.
Okay.
And I'll stay here and mark the spot.
That kid's heading for the ranch, but I can get there before he does. You better go in and keep that Mick there.
I never thought the day would come when I'd be glad to sell the ranch, but it did.
Well, I hope I didn't make a mistake buying it. Here's my draft on the bank for the full amount.
Thank you, Ben.
Oh, excuse me, Eliza. Here comes one of my hands, probably about that fence.
Boss, looks like that old buzzard found our strike.
It's too late. I got her signature.
What are they doing here?
There's nothing to me. I've got the ranch, and Monk never got a chance to talk.
Want to talk to you, Kobe? Who's this?
Sundown. Hired him a couple of weeks ago. What's on your mind?
That man I caught yesterday. He got knifed to death last night.
Oh, Lofty, I hope there isn't any more trouble coming up. Ben just bought the ranch.
After he said he wouldn't take it?
Well, I bought it as a favor to Eliza.
Yes, he did. He really didn't want it.
Didn't want it? He made 2 offers. He seemed awfully interested in that prisoner of Lofty.
Miss Biddle, Tim found a treasure, and it's on your property, but on your line, Mr. Colby.
Treasure? On your line? So you were doing Eliza a favor. Couldn't be that you knew about this, could it?
I don't know anything about a treasure.
I bet you don't know anything about how Amos and that other man got killed either, do you?
Now turn around and go back to the ranch.
I don't know all the answers, Annie, but the guilty flee when no man pursue it. It says in the good book.
Well, I've got one of the answers, Lofty. This Sundown is real handy when it comes to knife throwing.
In you go! Up, St. Patrick, for the glory of Ireland! There's one of your rapscallions.
How'd you catch him, Tim?
It wasn't me. It was the leprechauns. Tell him.
He tricked me, telling me there was a little man with whiskers behind me.
Huh? And so there was. And now we can start digging. Whether it's for gold or whether it's for water, your troubles are over, Eliza. Up! St. Patrick.
And how about, the Leprechauns?
Look out! There's one behind you.
Oh.